Apparently, there are people waiting for Whiskey Friday. Who knew? Well, welcome to Whiskey Friday, y'all. It's been a busy day, been a busy week. A whole lot going on here. We'll try and get everybody caught up. I'm going to give everybody a few seconds to get in here and join us. I am going to hit up Instagram real quick, let them know what's popping over here. What's popping? I have never said that before, ever. So, sometimes it happens like that. I'm going to hit everybody on Instagram with a quick, what's up? What's up? It's Friday night, 5:15-ish. We are live on YouTube. Come and join us on our YouTube channel. Hey, I see a couple. Oh, no, that's Justin. Okay. A couple of you may be joining us. Hop on over to our YouTube channel. Join us over there. We got a live brewing. I got a freshly fresh drink. We got 20, 30 minutes to talk about the week, see what's going on with all of y'all. And yeah, join us over here on YouTube. We're working out a new system. We might be able to get it streamed on both Instagram and YouTube, but we're just worried that it was going to make us do some weird portrait landscape bullshit. So see you guys in a few over on YouTube. Join us over there. Talk to you guys soon. Okay. And no. Sure. Can't post this. It's not a minute long. Don't care. All right. Should have some folks showing up. Mr. Howard Fan. Quick question. I will be getting my GT3RS delivered soon, and since the cars cannot have their oil dumped, should I still switch to different weight oil? No. Good question. Next question. Pulling a Jacob over here. We have our good buddy Jacob Cohen, who runs Spec German. That's kind of one of his things. Good question. Next question. There isn't a reason to change the weight of the oil. Porsche has that weight specified such that the bearing clearances and such are appropriate for the weight oil that they specify. They specify the weight of the oil that they specify because they specified it. Something like that. So yes, the reason that they have the weight of the oil recommended for your car and the kinds of oil, you should follow it or risk denial of warranty coverage. Nobody wants that. Nobody wants that at all. What's going on, Larry? Happy Friday, Tim. Welcome, everyone. Tim, thank you for picking up that 4RS muffler. I'm excited to see. I know it's going to take some restraint to get that 60 to 130, but I am excited to see what the difference is, because you might be the first that does it, which is a little bit of a surprise, but it's all good. It's just all the guys that already have the package already have the whole thing. They don't have it stock yet. So getting a stock 60 to 130 from the same car and then fully modified is going to be the thing. So, let's see what else. We have a new car in the house, and it's even the right option, package, and color. Go ahead and show the people that beautiful bean footage, so to speak. Oh, we were out at the track today doing a little track support at our Racer on Rails Dundon Motorsports track day. No, we did not take the new GT3RS on track. It only has 180 miles on it. Thank you, TRS Cobra. You can notice that the rear wheels are a teeny tiny bit tucked, but these are actually advans from a 991.2 GT3RS originally. They fit a 992 GT3, and they're damn close to fitting on the 3RS. So I might buy them back from my good friend Ed, who I sold them to for his .2RS, and he wants to keep all stock wheels on it. So we might buy these back as street wheels. They're a little heavy, but they look good. They're already orange. The factory wheels are at the paint shop, along with our bar from the 992 GT3 getting painted orange. Hopefully that's done here in a week or so, and then we can really kind of get the car all dialed in. We're going to try and get some miles on it. We are following a very, let's see, I talked about this a couple times. Charles has talked about this a couple times. The way that we break in the modern low tension piston ring engines, I'll say it's different than it's been in years past. It's different than how when you bought a 997, you would have bought it and sent it, because they weren't as low tension as they are in these engines. The tension pushes less hard. There you go. Less hard, not as hard, against the cylinder wall. And so that you get less friction. That's the word I'm looking for. Have another sip. All those words will come back. I've been up since 5:30. It was a track day. It's been a long day. Give me a break. Nobody's heckling me, but give me a break anyway. So when we break in the engine, to keep the rings from bending down and bending back up and kind of flexing around, we want in, we need to do it at low RPM so that we don't have a lot of piston speed kind of pulling the rings down and then pushing the rings back up and pulling them down. We want them to suck down onto the piston and slowly work their way through the bore of the cylinder, grinding away slowly. Don't hit the mic. And creating the path so that you have a nice tight seal. You keep all of that cylinder pressure on the top of the piston. You don't have oil coming up around it. You don't consume a bunch of oil, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So those cars the new cars that end up consuming oil, there was an interesting thread on Renlist about this where somebody asked the question, does your car consume oil? And a number of people said yes. There was one guy that said no. And he followed up the no with, I ran the engine for a long time at low RPM before I started ramping up. So sometimes Renlist has some gems, and you just have to be able to know that you're reading a gem, not some bullshit. So just a challenge on Renlist, because there's a whole lot of bullshit on there too. So that's what we're doing. Charles has got about an 80-mile round trip commute, and he'll probably take the long way. So he's going to be in command of the RS next week. I'll be at the Gig Harbor Cars and Coffee in the morning for those of you here who are local and want to come see it. We even rinsed it off because literally it was a little misty this morning. Just a little bit of rain, not a whole lot. And holy shit, this car can pick up some mud off the ground and throw it all over the fucking side of the car. It's hilarious how quickly that car can be dirty. It's like that, and it's just filthy because it was sparkling clean. And shout out to Caesar and his crew at Pista Film Solutions. They knocked it out of the park. The car looks great, and they did it in 3 fucking days. So anybody in the Washington area needs PPF and graphics and ceramic coat and all the rest, hit Caesar and his crew up because they did a great job. This was a recommendation from my friend Doug. I know George uses them. A few others using them. He's a give a shit business. And you know what? Any of you guys who have paid attention to me for a while, really the difference between businesses that win and businesses that fail is give a shit. If the owner gives a shit and they create a give a shit culture among their team members and the folks that work there, and you give a shit about them, then they will give a shit about people that they've never fucking met before, aka customers. So it's important, right? It's truly show up, give a shit, and you're good. So, all right. No, recently got street hairs and mini crack. Took my neighbor on a ride. He loved it. But, oh, fuck. Seriously? But put him in AFib. Think your exhaust needs to come out. Brother, no, I never read that. I never heard that. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. This is a pre-existing condition, as the insurance agents might say. I have no recollection nor cognition of what the fuck just happened. What happened? Our insurance company did not hear this. I don't know what you're talking about. I'm sorry, sir. Your muffler products cause heart attacks in weakened individuals. Therefore, they must come with a Surgeon General's warning. Fuck me. I could expect that from California, honestly. I'm surprised it hasn't happened already. Yeah, so Howard fans, stay at low RPM for the first 1,000 miles. Yeah, so we're staying below 4,000 RPM for about 1,000 miles. Then we'll ramp it up about 1,000 RPM every 200 miles after that. We'll probably, once you're at about 7,000 miles, it kind of the rest doesn't matter. Or sorry, 7,000 RPM, the 8,000, 9,000, it's kind of all the same. Because the piston speed's fast enough at that point that, you know, it doesn't really notice the difference. There's a dirty joke in there somewhere, but I'm going to leave that alone. So break in strict regiment. Yes. What else we got? Cool. We also had a great time with our good friend Roger, known as Bong. He had his cup car back at the track, and it's funny. He hasn't been on track in about 6 months. And Roger and I, we swapped our I had his NSX, his NA1 with a supercharger, which was our other friend's Paul's car that Roger bought from him. It's kind of fun to know the like who had what and what the custody situation was of a car for its long term. And he borrowed my 458, and we compared notes. On that note, I'm a little rough. I'm a little hard on what is considered one of the best supercars that was ever made, 458. I drove it for a week last week while we had a guest in the state here from Australia, and he was driving my station wagon. I don't hate it. It can be better, but I don't hate it. I don't hate it to the extent that I would like kick it out of bed in the morning, so to speak, for eating crackers. But with the discussion with our learned friend Daniel from Calibrated Performance, I believe there is a currently untried method to give that car a manual transmission in a more elegant way than others have attempted to date. And that will make me keep the car. Because if that thing had a 6-speed, keep her for life. Oh my God, that car would be fucking brilliant. It'd be super fun to drive around town between, 1,000 RPM and 4,000 RPM when you can't go kill it and get arrested, and fucking ridiculous when you can. So we'll let that's a multi-year project. Do not call me and say, hey, is that done yet? It won't be done yet. Just leave me alone. Our timelines are, I'm getting wise in my old age of 50 and change, that stop saying you can get shit done quickly, because you can't. You have not been able to get shit done quickly in a long time. But we do get shit done. So there you go. And we make really cool shit when we get it done. So back to Roger's cup car. He was a couple months ago. He keeps threatening to sell it. It's like, it just sits in the house and I'm not sure. And nah. And he was at the track with it today. More shots from Justin. We'll get a video from Caleb here in a second about it. And Roger fell all the way back head over heels in love with the thing again today. It took like 3 laps of hooked up, cargo fast, sound fucking brilliant. He actually had a buddy of his boss at Amazon, who's he's known Charles since before there was a Dundon Motorsports. We actually have one of Elson's cars in here that he sold to somebody else years ago. And Elson got to take the car on track, and he just got out of the car. Oh my God. Like kind of speechless. Oh my God. Oh God. Fucking crazy. So, track dried out. Bong got to go again on Michelin Blues. He was on Hoosier A7s this morning, which is kind of an odd choice for a cup car, but local race team has been using them on their cup car, and I can't say it's the wrong choice for kind of dreary 45, 50-degree misty mornings. It was a good tire for it. It was a lot shorter tire than what Bong runs on the car, so it was running out of gear way early, like top of 6th gear, hitting the rev limiter at the end of the straight kind of thing, which was really fucking fun. I was like, what the hell? What's that about? As it gets to the end of the straight, there are no more gears. That's all of them. So it's really cool to watch somebody question the car that they have and then fall back in love with it with literally one drive. So go to the video, because that's just, yeah, that's another great one. Ted, by the way, got a chance, Taj Sport, to run in the car, and it's having a potentiometer issue. The sequentials and the flappy paddles and these things can be a little finicky. And with having to short shift and part throttle, Ted went 141 and at the ridge. He's like easy a 137, 138 car without really trying that hard, which is just fucking crazy. That's 2 seconds off our has heard his car outside of the car. Nobody else has driven it with him to hear and see it, which is pretty dope. And the car, fuck me, the car's got our race headers and full crack pipe on it. It's obnoxious, but it is probably the sweetest fucking sound you've ever heard on a car. Sitting there at idle, the car sounds like it's just fucking angry and wants to get back. It's like sounds like a monster fighting with another monster in the fucking engine bay. Just, oh god, so good. Our cup car doesn't sound as angry as that thing. So what's cool, it's pumpkin. Do we have any shots of pumpkin? Yeah, let's grab some shots of pumpkin real quick. Pumpkin has the same splitter and fenders as Bong's cup car does. It's kind of fun. I got a full Grand Am front end. He has a full Grand Am front end, but mine's a street car. Ching. Many of you are waiting for parts while you're getting the other stuff. Queue up Justin, and he and I can play a minute. The kid that Tigs we got the kid that Tigs live in the welding room, getting his weld on. I don't even know if he knows that he's on camera. Oh, he knows. Cool. Oh, that's good. So this is another 4RS muffler that our master welder is putting together for y'all. Justin serves a lot of roles here. He can scan, he can produce movies, he can 3D scan, he can train welders, he can weld himself. What's that? Photographer. Yeah, we got some of his bangers from earlier today. Pretty dope. Like the shots of the new lab rat are fucking crazy. I saw him setting up for those. He's literally got the camera on the ground and zoomed in to get that perspective, which is really cool. He's hard at work getting things done. We had 111 orders that needed to be shipped today, which is great. We have had a ridiculous March, like a hockey stick level ramp for a March. So I can't completely explain it except to say that Alex, our marketer, and what we're doing here in social media, and what logistics is doing, and what development is doing, is starting to work. It's all just starting to work. So thank you all for being a part of it and being along for the ride. But we were able to ship. And Philip, I can't forget to Philip. He's not feeling well. He went home. He buggered off today. Hopefully, I'm not getting sick. I can feel a little tingle in my nose. I think it's just a headache and an allergy. Because I'm leaving for Maui on fucking Thursday. So if I get sick, my wife is going to squarely kick me in the balls. Literally, she's like, no compassion. You are an idiot. Kick. So we shipped a lot of shit is where I was getting to. We shipped a lot of shit. And that's awesome because as much as our sales have had an uptick, our ability to complete those sales has also had an uptick. Those of you waiting on GT4 and 4RS dive planes, we have them on the bench down here. We called a fucking audible. We were trying to get crafty with a process that to bring carbon costs in line with what can be done in Asia. We are tasking our U.S.-based carbon fiber manufacturer here in the U.S. to get us costs that are similar. That's not easy, and keep the quality ideal. So we do it now on the wings because we've had a little bit more time to develop that process. I believe it's possible with the existing process. Or the process that we had put together for it, which includes PPF on the parts, as opposed to heavy coats of clear and buffing, because that's a lot of hours. If we can eliminate hours, then we eliminate cost for a U.S.-based manufacturer, which in China, it's essentially fucking free. So, yeah, before I move away. Yeah, so we're working on that. We're coming to an accord with our current carbon manufacturer, and we will get those parts kicked out to you, et cetera, et cetera. No comments. Everybody stop commenting. We still got people in here? Anybody listening? Hello? Is anybody there? Have I lost you? Pumpkin update. So Daniel from Calibrated was here last week. He got here Wednesday. He left on Monday this week. Pumpkin. So I'll spill the beans a bit for you, that because I've been kind of alluding and teasing and all this bit. So I am. Thanks, Justin. You've had a long day, brother. He was here when I got here with the car at 6:15. Dude, appreciate that, brother. Thank you. You'll have to come and drive it at some point, Tommy. That'd be a fun day. We've got private track days, and that'd be a fun. You'd cause a ruckus. I know that much. So, especially you bring some of your YouTube bros with you. Not that would be necessary. Pumpkin has. I'll give a little backstory. So, Pumpkin has been I'm such an idiot. I can't leave good cars alone. I'll just start with that. I cannot buy a 458 and love it for what it is. I have to make it something it isn't so that I will love it. And I don't know what that is about me. I'm a car guy. I like to mod shit, but it's just a thing. I bought Pumpkin, 2010? 2011. Bought it 2011 from an instructor in Florida. It had 42,000 miles on it when I bought it. It was essentially driven to Sebring, driven around Sebring, and then driven home and parked. And it had 41,000 miles on it in 4 years. That's a lot of fucking laps around Sebring. Drove it from West Palm Beach to Seattle with a hole in the muffler. My young Padawan at that time, we had started RK Auto Works. We were doing E39 M5 superchargers. A young man that was at the University of Texas at Austin, aeronautical engineer, smart motherfucker, the most belligerent Pakistani you've ever met in your life. I'll use the words, he's a Muslim. He practices Islam when it's convenient and sometimes when it's not, but that's fine. Super cool dude. Raza, if you're listening, I just sold you out and your mama's going to kick my ass, but that's all right. We drove that car all the way across the country in 3 days. And the hole got so bad at some points that we had to put it in fourth gear at 80 miles an hour and run it at 6,000 RPMs. So it just, our ears wouldn't fucking bleed. It was bad. Made for some fun across the country. That car goes fast. I know that, especially through Montana and South Dakota with the rolling hills and the like 2 mile sight lines for any cops. You're like, hit it, let's go. Pumpkin has been a project since I bought it. Pumpkin, as it sits now, from a bodywork standpoint, is not how I got it. I bought it completely bone stock. I wanted to make it into a GT3R, but that requires cutting the rear fenders, and I couldn't bring myself to do it. So that's why it's Grand Am style as it sits. We built, I think I built 3 4.2 liters for it. Metzgers are very expensive to build. Once we started doing DFI engine stuff, 991.1, 991.2, the power comes pretty easy because the compression is higher naturally because DFI allows for a higher compression without detonation. Metzgers are port injected. So a really rowdy 4-liter with cams and intake runners and all kinds of shit's like 485 wheel horsepower on our dyno. A 991.2 GT3RS bone fucking stock is 470 wheel horsepower. We start adding bits to it and a tune to it, we can get it to like 520 wheel horsepower. And all the bits are bolt-ons. We haven't cracked the engine open at all. So Charles and I were like, what if that is a dangerous question for Charles and I to have at the same moment? Because that means it's gonna fucking happen at some point. And the what if, and this started a number of years ago. There's another project that you guys have heard me mention, but that will remain relatively secret until it is more ready. Involved putting a 991.2 GT3RS drivetrain into a different car. But the trick, this has been done before. This isn't necessarily new. You can run it on a aftermarket ECU. You can run it on a number of things. That's not the hard part. The trick is to get it to run on the factory ECU, both the engine and the transmission, and integrate with the chassis side controllers, ECUs, computers, in a way that is natural, seamless. You couldn't tell unless we told you, right? So that's where Daniel comes in, because he is, I don't know if you guys know this, but there is an education that you can get in the UK that is literally race engineer. And they teach you aerodynamics and physics and mechanical engineering and chemical engineering and a lot of coding and a lot of electrical engineering. And you come out being able to walk onto an F1 grid and be able to be competent to help F1 teams make cars go faster. That's what Daniel is. And he chose not to do that. He chose to start his own gig. And good for him for it. And I appreciate him every day, because he's both very English, which is hilarious because he is the most witty, most dry wit motherfucker with the perfect English accent of I'm smarter than you, but with not with the ego. So that's perfect. That's perfect. And he's been working on this problem. We've been working together on this for over 5 years. And I'd say we're at like 85 to 90% right. Pumpkin will drive. Pumpkin will run. Pumpkin will do things, but it does some random things. It will declutch the transmission at, we'll call them random points. The random points aren't so random. We have some ideas as to what and why and how, and we're working on those. But as far as the major heavy lifting, mechanicals, electronics, everything playing together nicely, we're there. That's why I was so kind of distraught, bummed, saddened when he left, that the car wasn't, quote, done. Doesn't mean that it's not continuing to be worked on. It just wasn't done in that time frame. Fine. Because I really wanted to take it to the track day and know that it was done and move on with some of the other clean up shit, fix the splitter, put the cage in, do the belts and bullshit, blah, blah, blah. Get it ready to go to Smokies, which is happening the end of April. Could still happen. Not as hopeful that it does, but it could. But that is generally what's going on with Pumpkin. This is not something we're ready to offer as a product, but it is something that in the future, when it is done, we will. So those of you who are local to us, in the group that I will term as the homies, a number of you already know this and are kind of that's a good question, Mr. Thomas West. So Thomas West's question is, has there ever been a why with the Pumpkin Insanity, or is it just a why not? That's a question for why Dundon Motorsports. There were people that did what we did before we came on the scene. Did they do it to the level we do it? I think that's a question based around our success or lack thereof. Been doing okay. Continue to grow every year. So I think we're doing something right, and the market seems to believe that we're doing something right. So I'd say that it's kind of a why not. I mean, that's kind of a modder hot rodders, like that's, you take something that's good and you say, well, there's some things that we can make better. Why make a 3-rotor NA FD RX-7? Why do that? Why make a 4-rotor FD RX-7? I mean, why make a 4-rotor turbocharged fucking RX-7? Why does an RX-7 need 2,000 horsepower? It doesn't. It's a lovely, balanced sports car, bone stock. But could it be better? Could it be better? That's where we all fall in the trap. But could it be better? So, manual 4RS, brother, they already make that. It's called a GT4. With our aero package. Not entirely. We do talk to Larry Beck. Message Larry Beck privately. He can tell you some things about that. There's ways to make not GT4RSs into what a GT4RS is for a lot less money and almost no ADM. How about that? Crazy. So that's enough seed planting. I'm sure if Justin was up here, he'd already be showing the meme. Jamie selling all the secrets. Danger, danger, danger. Shut him up. Yeah. Larry's like, shut up. Don't spill the beans too soon. Let's show the video of the walk around of Bong's Cup car. Good question, Thomas is asking. Literally, thanks, Justin. This is free. If those of you who are looking for a livery for your race car, please contact Mr. Kirk Meyer at Meyer Creatives. If you need his website address, please message us. This is designed by Kirk, and in the vernacular, it bangs. So, Mr. Thomas West, is there a financial incentive as Mesker prices rise, or is all the same dollars at the end of the day? I am not going to answer that, but I think you can surmise the answer to the question by my lack of answering it. Meskers are expensive. Parts are becoming unavailable. There will quickly become a time where if you want to make your 996, 997, 981, 987, whatever the hell we can shove this powertrain into, perform at a modern level, that buying a $30,000 DFI engine out of a wrecked GT3 and a $5,000 to $8,000 PDK or manual, or using the manual that the car came with, whatever the case might be, is not ludicrous. It's actually financially advantageous to do that and enjoy the car and run it and put your special engine on the shelf and then pull it out, put it back in the car and sell the car for $350,000, whatever the fuck 997.2 GT3RSs are going for lately. So I need to order some food, and then I need to get home and eat a hamburger. That's kind of a Friday night thing for me. And I appreciate you guys joining us. This has been fun, especially for a bit of an impromptu thing. We used a slightly different way to do this. We're using SteamYard.com, not our, is it OBS, OBS way to do this. And so far it's been great. We were able to share things. This is purported to be the way that we can do this on YouTube and Instagram at the same time. Thank you, GT3 Matty. I appreciate that, brother. Thank you. So hopefully by the next time we can do it on both, and we can have everybody's comments in at the same time and have a big rousing group of folks. So thank you all for joining. I'm going to let these guys go home as it's almost 6 o'clock. It's been a long day. See you next week. Good night.